Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, this is a mountain bike one, but it's slightly different. I won't be riding this down some trails, I'll be riding this down some trials. I'm here at Bob McGregor's in Glasgow, and I'm entering, well, my first competition of the year. I'm going to do it on my Pivot Shadowcat. I've entered blue route, which is kind of an intermediate route. There's two categories harder than that, and it's going to be a challenge. There's lots of technical hopping, there's lots of tight maneuvers to do. This is quite a long bike, so we'll see how I get on. Blue route today is actually the most popular category. I think the most riders in it, so I'm not sure if a podium is in any way a contention today, but I'll try my best. I think we're about to start in a minute, so yeah, see you at the first section.
There are 5 sections, section 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 are right down the bottom, so you have got a bit of travel time as well. Go and have a great trial. Please bring all rubbish back with you, don't leave anything out there.
So we can't go around in massive groups, which is a shame because there's actually quite a few people here I'd like to ride with and watch ride. So I'm going to go around with Ross at least. I'm going to share filming duties, and yeah, should be fun. And Ross is on his Ashton as well. Check this out.
Yeah, you can maybe see it 1 minute.
It's the Ratty Ashton.
Ratty Ashton.
Ratty Ashton.
Right, this is going to be hard work.
Having done a very quick walk in the section, there wasn't really anything here I didn't think I could do, but there was certainly enough tech to catch me out if I wasn't concentrating. Also, it's the parts between the main features that often catch you out. Little rocks that cause a wheel spin or catch a tyre when pivoting. I was having to be vigilant at all times.
Makes it difficult to trial.
I set my suspension firm with faster rebound, but it's still pretty squishy, and sometimes I'm not prepared for it with me being used to a rigid trials bike.
I haven't quite decided with this one yet. Give your idea a go, Ross.
I had thought I could attack this gate from the left, as it has a higher and better takeoff, but it would force me to go over the biggest rock. Starting with a run-up is more work, but hopefully technically easier as I go over smaller rocks this way.
Well, what pedal strokes to do?
One sign of being out of practice with comps and riding natural is struggling to work out how many pedal strokes I need to be good foot forward when I end up at the obstacle. You'll see me doing a lot of random backpedaling throughout the comp, trying to work it out. Fortunately, I did work out the pedal strokes needed here and just about made it up. I then needed to do a tight turn up the slope, and with my long bike, it was almost too tight. But I'm glad to have gotten up it, even if it wasn't the prettiest riding I've ever done. The next gate was a simple step. For me, it made sense to try and roll it rather than side up, but the tricky thing was how short the run-up is. This run-up only allowed for a half pedal stroke. I have a much lower BB on this bike compared with, say, a trials bike, so there was a high risk of hitting the corner with my chainring. Fortunately, the bike flew up. The next gate was a little more tech. Getting onto the rock seemed easy enough, but I had to make a 90-degree turn off and then through the gate, and the spacing of the rocks and my wheelbase was a little bit awkward. But the last gate was perfect for this bike, an off-camber climb which was easy enough just to pedal up, around and down to the finish. A clean section is a great start.
1 second to spare.
Section 2 was mostly man-made. The first gate was a simple step, and with a kind of concave top, it was fun to roll up and smoothly push through to a small manual. Gate number 2 wasn't a huge move, but the shape of the pipes made it a bit awkward, especially for a longer full sus. I figured this could be a place to take advantage of the bigger wheels and front suspension though, and try and tap my way to the top, and it ended up working perfectly. This then leads to the next gate, a double step which didn't cause too much issue even on this bike. A bit of a ride to the next gate, which was a pretty easy roll up a pipe. This is possibly easier on my bike than a trials bike due to the bigger wheels. The bigger wheels also made riding up the slope to the next gate easier, but the gate itself was a side up, and that's probably the Achilles heel of full suspension. I didn't want to spend any more time back hopping than was necessary, so after a quick setup, I committed to the hop, hoping I'd aimed correctly. It went well though, and I only had 1 gate left. I played it safe and sneaked around the top rather than risk a bigger move by going directly up it. Just needed to turn around and then send it through the exit gate to another clean.
Whoa, keep it. That's quite a fun section. You okay?
Section 3 looked tough as we're now back on rocks. The first couple of gates went smoothly though, Again, I feel the bigger wheels help me roll much easier than most other trials bikes here. I don't even think full suspension was much of a disadvantage either, as I feel it stopped the bike from being bounced off course by the smaller rocks and off camber. 2 gates done and a third next. Plenty of run up though, and nothing too tech, so this was easily rolled over too. A bit of a pedal to get to gate 4, and this is where the difficulty rose. Full sus isn't so good for 0 run-up static moves, and this gate took me a little while to figure out. It's worth mentioning that Blue Route was BIU rules, meaning I'm allowed to touch my pedals or bash. I still try not to use them, but during the comp I did hit my pedals a couple of times. This didn't affect my score though. This was a messy gate, but I did eventually work it out and get over clean-ish. No time to rest though. Gate 5 was a much bigger rock. I thought about trying to hop straight up, but I did see a sneaky line I thought might be easier. I have to be accurate though, and with my long wheelbase and suspension, it did make it tricky. Actually, too tricky for me this time at least. I knew I could have done this, so it was a bit annoying. Hopefully I'll get it next lap.
It's a hard one, that. Thank you, cheers.
David.
Right, I reckon this is the hardest section, and the first gate is a real steep climb. I don't think I'm going to get through this one. Here you go.
Like I said, I think this has the potential to be the hardest section, and I honestly don't know if I can even do the first gate. Everyone else has been trying this static with side ops, but again, I think I can use my bike's features as an advantage here.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Now, can speed, big wheels and suspension get me up these first steps in one go? Well, to my delight, it can. Things don't ease off though. It's far too steep and loose to get a run up to the next gate, so I'm forced to do it static. I'd hoped I might be able to lunge up it if my back tyre got a grip on the grass, but once there, it didn't feel as stable as I hoped, so I ended up trying a static hop up, which didn't quite work. The high front end and big wheels were a definite disadvantage here. I'm annoyed by a foot down, but I use it to make sure I get the bike up and to a point where it's easy to get back on. The next gate is at the bottom, so down I go. I'd much rather be on this bike than a comp bike here. The gate itself is quite a big move, but I reckon if I get my timing right, I can tap the rock with my front wheel to the left of the smaller one and hopefully manage to roll straight up. Unfortunately, my accuracy was way off and I had my weight too far to the right, forcing an awkward hop off and another dab to save me. The climb back up to my run-in was too time consuming and quite tech, so I'm a little lost as what to do next. I decide to see what run-in I can get without climbing up further, and it's not a lot. I have 10 seconds left, and because I dabbed, I can't get the points for this gate anyway.
Use it. You sit down there?
What's time's gone?
I'm fairly sure I can't get up from here, but I try it anyway. And I actually got closer than I thought, but again, my weight is too far to the right. I need to fix that for next time.
That was good.
So good. Cheers. Tight.
Tight in a tight thing?
Tighter than a tight thing, holding a tiger. Cool, we good?
Last section of the first lap. It looks easy enough, other than the tech gate you just saw in the previous clip. First gate goes easy enough. It's actually nice to have smooth concrete here. There's nothing really to catch you out compared with random shaped rocks. The next gate also went as well as I hoped, but then it's a rough climb up to the hardest gate of the section. Again, I used the bigger wheels here to my advantage riding up the rough climb, but any advantage soon disappears when I get to the gate itself.
Yeah, this bit.
Now I got here fairly quickly, so I take my time to figure it out.
Indeed.
My thinking is to get balanced and then jump my back wheel to where my front wheel currently is, putting my front wheel up on the big rock straight ahead. If I get it right, I can use my forwards momentum to then endo up and forwards, get my back wheel up too. But as you can see, it didn't quite work out. The bike's geometry and suspension wasn't exactly optimum for this gate. Now at the next gate, I had two choices. Hop off the big rock down to the right, or try and roll off the far end. Going right would make me land on off-camber loose rocks though, so to avoid that, I figured sending it down the bigger end would be easier. And it actually ended up being quite fun, and that's now the most tech and difficult gates done. The next gate was pretty easy, and then I get a breather before the last one. This wasn't a big move, but it was taped in a way where you had to roll onto the pipe at an angle and not go off the right hand side of it.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have stayed on the pipe to the end, but this works too. I slightly scrape the chainring, but I make it to the end gate with just one dab in this section.
I'm glad it's not UCI for us.
Did well.
Cheers. Bit annoyed I got the dab up there, but we'll take it.
You nearly up.
Thank you.
We handed our first lap scorecards in and got new ones. Now this section was the closest to HQ, so we decided just to repeat it.
Come on.
This section has pretty much been a repeat of my previous lap. I really wanted to clean this tech section though. I almost had it. My weight was too far back though, probably due to the higher front end, and I had to take a dab to save me. I did manage to get the last gate a little cleaner this time though, and ended up with the same score as the previous lap.
Oh dear. An action replay.
Back to the section we started on. Now I was pleased to clean this before, so I'm hoping I can repeat it. Still not quite got my pedal stroke calculations dialed, but I got there in the end, and it was an action replay of this section so far.
Oh, same again.
This gate was tricky last time, but having done it once before, I have a bit more confidence, and I actually did get it a lot cleaner this time. But the short run up for this step is still a concern, even if it did go well last time. I didn't need to be concerned though. It was a clone of my previous attempt and I flew up it with no issues. I even improved from my previous lap on the next gate and cruised up and over the rocks much smoother and quicker. The last climb up and around the next gate secured another clean.
Yo. Thank you.
This was my favourite section and I was really hoping I could repeat my tap up and over the pile of pipes again.
Now this works last time.
I ended up doing it even smoother. This section is really fun on the full sus.
Scraped my way up this last time.
I feel like I got a little lucky on this gate last time as my rear wheel didn't quite make it up to the very top and could have slipped. So this time I need to make sure I get up it confidently.
Oh.
Still a bit sketchy, but up nevertheless. I was having fun, so I took a little risk and attacked the last gate head on, which actually did work pretty well. Three repeated sections so far, and with this clean, a repeat of my scores too.
Thank you. Thanks very much. There it goes.
I failed this section last time, so I'm hoping I can improve with my second attempt. This was the same as last time up to this point. This gate is where it starts to get tricky though. I struggled with this rock last time, but it did go easier on this lap. However, this is the rock I failed on, but I fancy trying a different approach. I think if I can get my timing right, I could jump straight up and over. My long wheelbase caught me out though. My front wheel ended up way further forwards than I expected, causing an impromptu Superman impression.
Let's keep going, you've got enough time.
Even though I failed, I still have enough time left, so I try again to see if it could actually work.
Yes.
So it is possible. Hopefully I can repeat this in the third lap.
That's a shame. Cheers.
Last section of the second lap, and back at the hardest one. I'm hoping my previous clean up the first steps wasn't a fluke. Not quite as clean, but still pleased to get up it again. Even with my geo and high front end, I feel like this gate is possible. I didn't make it, but it does feel close. I was too far to my right last time, so I tried to compensate for it. only to end up too far to my left. My bike got through the gate before I dabbed, so I think I got the points for it. I just can't get the points for the next gate now. Not the easiest gate for this bike, but I managed to get through. If it had been much bigger, I'd have really struggled here. Unfortunately, before I got to the next gate, I made a beginner mistake by going through the gate of a different category. This is an immediate fail and I can't continue, although I still get the points I received from going through the previous gates.
Silly mistake. Cheers, though.
Before I get to the third and last lap, I want to give some exposure to the other riders there today. I didn't get everyone in film, sorry, but here's some that I did.
Yes. Nice.
Third and last lap. I'm hoping I can iron out some of the mistakes from the previous laps. I must admit I'm feeling quite tired now. My comp fitness is low and the bigger heavy bike is taking its toll. This meant my worst attempt yet at the tricky gate. However, I'm no worse off score-wise than my previous laps. The rest of the section was all done smooth enough and no change to my previous 2 scores my third time around. This isn't the hardest section of the day, but it is actually my least favourite. I feel like I've kind of scraped through it rather than flowed on my previous attempts. I really didn't want to lose any points on my third attempt though. Even though I don't like this section, I feel I got a bit more flow this time, and that felt really nice. I did make a pig's ear of this gate though. I'm definitely feeling tired. Despite being messy, I still got through it with no lost points. Somehow.
Getting sloppy.
Nice.
The rest of the section was a repeat of my previous two, and I'm stoked to have cleaned this section all 3 times.
Thank you.
My favourite section, and another clean. There was a queue at the usual next section, so we skipped forwards to the hardest section of the day. Can I get further than before? I actually think that was my best clean up the first gate, and I used the momentum to help me up the slope to the next gate, saving some energy. I came so close to getting at this rock last time, I try extra hard this time. I actually managed to get my wheels exactly on the right spots, got grip and cleaned it. A definite improvement so far. I even cleaned the big gate and the one after. I was on an absolute roll here.
Left. Oh, you're right there, right.
I made sure to avoid the mistake I made on the last lap and take a breather. Up next is a gate I'm really not sure if I can do on this bike. It's a tech roll down to instant roll up a big rock. The tricky bit is I need to hook my front wheel over the top and stay balanced. This is a very difficult move on a full sus bike.
Yes.
But it actually went perfectly. I was quite surprised, but very happy. All I have to do now is roll to the exit, and that's a clean on the hardest section of the day. Stoked.
Next one.
Are we allowed to throw up on YouTube? Cheers.
Now the last section of the day, and the only one I've not managed to make it out of yet. Here's hoping I can get over the big rock like I did after my last fail. So far so good, and it's all clean, including this first tricky rock. After a long rest to get my breath back, I go for the big jump again. Only to do exactly what I did last time. Oh, that's so frustrating.
Cramp in my leg like mad. So annoying. Thanks for observing.
And with the comp done, we have just enough energy for a little play while the scores are being counted.
I can't, it's different, I'm just saying.
There we go.
Thank you.
Cheers. It's my old bike. Nice.
Good work. Thank you very, very much to everybody that's been involved in setting out. So a big round of applause for them for getting everything set up. And then a huge round of applause for all the observers. I'm not going to try and name everybody because there were some awards. And unfortunately that means I have to stand off here because it's a long, long time since I've won this. So this is, as well as being a round of the National Trials Cup, this is a round of the Scottish Championship. So in the blue ribbons primary we'll start with. So in second place we have Campbell.
Hey.
And in first place, making a bit of a habit of this, is Austin.
Yeah, done Austin.
Hey, somebody take the first back here. Primary senior In third place, we have Finlay Boyle. In second place, having signed a declaration that he's now going to give up motocross and just ride bike trial, is Graham Milne.
Well done, Graham.
And in first place, Joshua.
Well done, Joshua.
He moved before I said his name. Right, I was being serious, Graham. And now we have girls. So in third place, we have Audrey. Right, and in second place, Isla.
Well done, Isla.
And in first place, Sarah.
Well done, Sarah.
Novice. Okay, in second place in novice, we have Cameron. And in first place, Harry. Little.
Well done, Harry.
And novice senior, in second place, Michael.
Well done,
He
Michael.
does tell me he's going to get a 24 inch. And in first place, Paul Tate.
Well done, Paul.
Brody's going to have to do an all. Right, now we move to Inter. Okay. And a full sus bike, quite impressive. Ali C in third place. In second place, Callum Grant. Second. And taking that top step, he was grumpy at one point, so I don't know why, was Nathan.
Alright.
Well done, Nathan.
So an expert in second place, Ben Shepherd.
Well done, Ben.
First place, we have Finn Johnston.
Well done, Finn.
Right, okay, so now we move on to National Trials Cup. Right, so primary. In third place, Isla.
Well done, Isla.
And in second place, Campbell.
Well done, Campbell.
And in first place, Austin.
Well done, Austin.
Oh, don't worry about it, Campbell.
Just do Austin.
Primary senior, Finlay Boyle, third.
Well done, Finlay.
Picking up a second, Graham Miller.
Well done, Graham.
And in first place, James Expert. Oh no, it's not, it's Joshua Hannell.
Well done, Joshua.
No, all good.
In novice, in third place, Harry Little. In second place, Alfie Shaw.
Alfie.
And in first place, Will Blackwell.
Well done, Will.
Right, novice senior, in third place, Paul Tate. In second place, poor dad, Sarah Tate. And in first place, back in his proper place, Carl Waitman. Right, okay, now we move to Inter for the Nationals. In third place, Ronnie Burgess. Well done, Ronnie. Second place, Lucas. And taking top podium, top step goes to Nathan. Well done. Okay, right now, Inter Senior. Third place, Kyle North. In second place, Ali Clarkson.
How happy is this?
And taking the top step in Inter Senior in his second trial back after many years' absence, Callum Grant. Now we move to expert, so red route. In third place, Finn Johnston. In second place, Eddie Waitman. And in first place, Elliot Cooper. In third place, for elite, we have Adam Moorwood. In second place, we have Owen Gothard. And taking that top step is Charlie Rolls.
So there we go, we're all wrapped up, and amazingly I got myself 2 medals. I didn't actually mention that this is actually 2 competitions. This is a round of the Scottish Championships and a round of the British Championships, and I got 3rd and a 2nd. Stoked, did not think I was going to get on a podium at all. The bike's been great, really nice and bouncy. It's definitely a bit longer than my last mountain bike, so I thought some of these sections were going to be really quite technical and I was going to get caught out, but no, it actually coped really well. I managed to clean a few sections which I just didn't expect to, especially one right down to the bottom, which was the hardest section of the day. Managed to clean that on the last lap, so yeah, really happy. But now everyone is off on their way home, so before I go I just want to say a huge thanks to David and everyone who helped organise this event, come and set out the sections, keep score, all the observers, all the riders, and especially Ross, who I went around with for helping me film. I hope you all have an amazing week and I'll catch you next time, so take care everyone, bye bye.